It all started with a friend of mine. We were working together and we were always talking about doing trips on motorcycles. It was 2017. We decided to move on it. I never thought in a million years I would get it, but I finally did. 2017 Chieftain. Indian, all mine.
All right, ready?
It was a good day that day. I felt proud and accomplished in myself. So now, Joe and I both had motorcycles, 2 Indians. It was time to clean them up, which I have boys for that, and pack it up. Because we were going to move on to one of the biggest trips that we had planned in our minds, Sturgis, Yellowstone, Las Vegas. As always, never goes as planned. Time to leave, pouring down rain. Can't win. On the way up, we got to stop and see sights, and of course, we always have to stop at signs to take pictures, prove we were there. We made it up to Nebraska and stayed in Sydney that night. Then the next day, we headed across the beautiful state of Nebraska, up into South Dakota. We met up with my buddy Paul. Met Paul in Nebraska, we worked together. He's the one who gave me the name Dan Bud. You see, everybody who worked there, it was your first name followed by Bud. So old Paul Bud, he met us up there with his motorcycle. Come to find out, he had himself an Indian Dark Horse Chieftain as well. We had a blast up there. We decided that Paul was going to stay with us for a couple of nights over at our campsite, and we were staying at Spokane Creek. Never heard of it, never seen anything of it. Just seen it was open, made the reservation, and went for it. If you ever get a chance to camp up in Sturgis, you're going to go and visit the rally, or even a little before and after. This is the place. If you ride a motorcycle, you'll love it. Staff is friendly, they've got a nice little store, and the campground, it's great. Once you get to camp, first things first, you got to start a fire, set up the tents, you got to go explore, and of course, you got to bring out the libations, partake in a couple of adult beverages, get some nutrition in you, and then it's time to go ahead and sit around the campfire and have choir practice. Man, there ain't nothing like a good campfire at night when you're camping motorcycle style. The next day, we decided to head on into Sturgis. We went to go see the rally. Of course, go see a couple of places that we really wanted to see. Line up the bikes in front of the Indian and Sturgis. Got some cool pics, got some good food. And well, we ended up closing the night the same way any other night would be. We started a fire, brought out the libations, and wouldn't you know, it started raining.
I don't have any cell service out here. All we have is Wi-Fi. Thunder, lightning, raining. Looks like it's going to be going all the way till tomorrow at about 8 in the night, so we were going to ride Custer tomorrow, but I don't think we're gonna.
As luck would have it, the weather cleared up, the rain stopped, we got some coffee in us, and we headed on out to Custer State Park.
Oh, no, he's over there rolling. Alright, well, I'm a happy camper. I got to see my buffaloes. Them suckers is big. Boy, I'll tell you, and we got close, super close. Like they were right there about 10 feet from us. And we didn't get charged that, so that's good. That's really good. buffalo. Later days, pups. Alright, now it's off to have a burger.
The buffalo burger was great. We checked out the lodge, then after lunch, we decided to go and hit up Crazy Horse. Crazy Horse was pretty amazing. A lot of history, and whenever you stare at it, you're just left in awe that men can actually do that into a mountain. We were able to stop and see some of the exhibits they had. There was a team from Santa Fe, New Mexico of indigenous dancers. They did a wonderful job. Talked to them for a while and got some really good footage. Then, of course, we went out and said, hey, let's line up the bikes. We got some pretty cool shots at that. Then it was off to Mount Rushmore. Unfortunately, I was new at GoPro, and the footage was too shaky to use. Once we packed up from Spokane Creek, it was time to head on over to, well, Yellowstone. So we crossed over to Wyoming, stopped off in Cody, which was a beautiful city. Had a buddy from there. We sent him that picture. Took some pictures along the way whenever we'd stop, get some water, take a breather, until we finally made our destination. And once we were there, we were greeted by a hoss. Once you get to Yellowstone from the Wyoming side, it takes a few hours to get across. We were staying in West Yellowstone at the KOA, and this is our cabin. No running water or amenities, just some beds to sleep, and that's all we really needed. It was a long day that day. In the morning, they end up making breakfast outside, camp style. The coffee was strong, smelled wonderful. The food was fantastic, and it was really reasonably priced. You can't go wrong. You meet great people too. Then it was off to explore. Of course, we had to stop and take pictures, prove we were there. Yellowstone is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. And if you ever get a chance to, go on a motorcycle. You see things, you smell things, it's just different. Of course, you can't forget Old Faithful.
It's going quite a bit. Going for a while.
The one thing about taking motorcycle trips is you get to see a lot of history. You get to see a lot of beautiful sights. And of course, you meet people that have extraordinary backgrounds. Then, it always ends with a fire. It was time to leave. We were going to head southwest, Sin City. We got there and set up. It was pretty late by the time we got into our rooms. We smelled like Yetis and we were thirsty. It was 113 degrees coming in. So we got some good drinks, some good food, headed back to the room and crashed out. The next morning we got up, decided to head down to the gym, get a good workout in. We felt decent. We finally had showers. So we figured we'll go get something to eat right afterwards. We found the Bellagio, heard a lot about the buffet, and it was pretty amazing. After breakfast, we jumped on the bikes and we headed over to Count's Customs. Got a chance to see all the things that we did on TV. It's amazing in there. The quality of work, the craftsmanship, the showpieces, truly stunning. Joe's sister Cammie came down, so we decided to go see the Hoover Dam. It was a beautiful ride. We met Pete Rose that night, and well, we got a signed ball. Joe had Joe Mintz, and we headed over to Las Vegas Indian. Boy, it was hot. My sweat had sweat. Then that night, we went to the Strip. Joe wanted to go on the zip line, but he's afraid of heights, so the bartender made us some very strong drinks. After that, liquid courage was in us. We ended up getting up there, and I'll tell you what, it's fast, but it's pretty fun. If you get the chance to, pay for it. After the zip line, we went around and seen some of the talent, seen some of Vegas' finest, and not so finest. On our last day, we did some laundry, and then we went to a place called the Red Pot. The Red Pot is a hot pot, and if you get a chance to, the price is amazing. You're off the Strip, so things aren't expensive as they are in the hotels, the casinos, or on the Strip. It's one-of-a-kind buffet. Check it out. It was time to leave Las Vegas, and it was too hot, so I shaved. I crossed Arizona into New Mexico and met the wife in Taos. We ended up going to Madrid, home of the Wild Hogs, the movie set. We toured Maggie's, then we had some good food and some good drink.
Such an honest feeling. Was you really mean when you said I'm your man? Well, how, my darling, can it be? You have never seen me and you never will again. This you swept me away. Yeah, you swept me away. Well, life is ever changing, but I can always find a constant comfort.
We had a good night's sleep in camp, and we woke up for the next morning on a beautiful adventure. We went whitewater rafting in Taos, New Mexico. After that, it was time to pack it up and call it to the end. We headed home, but we were thinking about our next adventure. If you love motorcycle travel, this was our first adventure. We've had many over the years. This is just the start of the channel. Stay tuned.